Life inside Rikers Island, where violence never sleeps. The sound comes first, metal screaming against metal. A door slams so hard the walls shake. Someone is shouting for help, but the words are swallowed by alarms and boots running down concrete halls. Blood is already on the floor. It isn't quiet anywhere. Not in the cells. Not in the corridors. Not even in the air. This is Rikers Island, and tonight, like most nights, violence does not sleep. A group of men are trapped in a housing unit that has lost control. Faces are bruised. Bodies are pressed against cell bars. One man with spiderweb tattoos creeping up his neck grips a torn bedsheet around his arm, trying to slow the bleeding. Another inmate, his back covered in dark, inked symbols, lies motionless near the showers. Officers are yelling orders no one is listening to. The unit has tipped over into chaos, and everyone inside knows the same truth. Once things start like this at Rikers, they rarely stop cleanly. How did this place reach a point where nights explode without warning, and mornings arrive already stained with fear? This channel is created for educational, documentary, and informational purposes only. All stories, events, and individuals discussed are based on public records, news reports, court documents, and documented sources from the United States, United Kingdom, and Canada. The content presented does not promote violence, crime, or illegal activity. Any opinions expressed are intended for analysis and commentary and should not be interpreted as factual accusations against any individual or institution. Some visuals, reconstructions, or narratives may be dramatized or simplified to enhance storytelling clarity while remaining faithful to the documented facts. Viewer discretion is advised, as this channel may contain disturbing themes related to crime, incarceration, and mental health. This channel does not provide legal, medical, or professional advice. All rights to referenced media belong to their respective owners, and no copyright infringement is intended. If this story opened your eyes, don't let it end here. Hit like so this video reaches more people who need to see the truth. Subscribe for real crime and prison documentaries you won't see on mainstream media. And comment below, do you think the justice system failed here, or did it get it right? Rikers Island did not begin the night in chaos. It rarely does. Violence here grows quietly, like a storm building far away before anyone hears thunder. Earlier that day, the jail wakes up the same way it always does. Loud. Steel doors snap open. Officers count heads. Men step out of their cells slowly, some stretching, some already angry. Most of them have not been convicted of anything yet. They're waiting for court dates, lawyers, bail hearings. Days blend together. Weeks turn into months. Tension becomes normal. The housing unit smells of sweat and old food. Paint peels from the walls. The lights never really turn off. A man named Marcus Reed stands near his bunk, pulling on his shirt. His arms are covered in heavy tattoos, names, numbers, symbols earned on the streets of Brooklyn. He has been here 7 months. Every day, he tells himself to stay invisible. Every day, Rikers tests that promise. Across the unit, Darnell Cruz finishes his breakfast. A thin tray, lukewarm eggs, a piece of bread. Tattoos crawl up his forearms like shadows. He is younger than Marcus, louder, quicker to react. He came in on a robbery charge and has already learned something important. Respect inside Rikers is not given, it is taken, and it is defended every hour. Correctional officers stand behind the desk, watching. They are short-staffed again. This is normal too. Entire units often run with fewer officers than required. Everyone feels it. Inmates notice when officers are tired. Officers notice when inmates start testing limits. By midday, the unit is restless. Phones break down. Showers are delayed. A small argument starts near the tables over a seat. Nothing big, just words. But words here carry weight. Marcus hears the tone shift. He looks up and sees Darnell staring at another inmate from across the room. No one intervenes. Not yet. The afternoon drags. Heat builds inside the unit. Sweat darkens shirts. Someone pounds on a door, asking for medical. Another shouts at an officer who doesn't respond fast enough. Each moment stacks on the last. Pressure rising inch by inch. When dinner arrives late, it feels like an insult. Trays slide through slots. Portions are smaller than usual. Someone laughs bitterly. Someone else throws a tray. It clatters against the wall, food splattering onto the floor. Officers shout commands. The laughter stops. Marcus sits on his bunk, eyes forward. He knows what comes next. He has seen it before. A unit doesn't need a reason to explode. It only needs time. The first punch lands near the phones. No one sees who throws it. No one admits anything. Suddenly 2 men are swinging. Tattoos flashing as arms move fast and wild. Others jump back. Some rush forward. The noise changes. It becomes louder, sharper, alive. Officers call for backup. It doesn't come fast enough. The fight spreads like fire. A group forms near the showers. Someone slips. Someone screams. Marcus stands frozen for a second too long, then moves back toward his cell. He keeps his head down, but a body slams into him from his side. He falls hard. Pain flashes white. Darnell is in it now. He always ends up in it. His face is tight, focused. He swings, blocks, stumbles. Blood runs from a cut above his eye. The unit is out of control. Doors slam shut as officers try to lock the place down. Some inmates are trapped outside their cells. Others bang on doors, shouting to be let in. The alarms begin to scream. When backup finally arrives, it is loud and forceful. Shields, batons, orders barked again and again. Slowly, painfully, the unit is forced back into place. Bodies are cuffed. Some are carried out on stretchers. Others are dragged. Marcus sits on his bunk afterward, shaking. His arm is bleeding through his shirt. Darnell is gone, taken somewhere else, maybe medical, maybe segregation. No one knows. The lights stay on all night. Later, long after the noise dies down, Marcus lies awake staring at the ceiling. His heart still races. He knows this wasn't the end. At Rikers, it never is. Violence here doesn't belong to one fight, one night, or one mistake. It lives in the walls, the overcrowded cells, the waiting, the anger, the silence between alarms. And tomorrow, when the doors open again, it will still be here, watching, ready. The morning after the fight does not bring relief. It brings silence, and silence inside Rikers Island is never peaceful. Marcus wakes up before the count. He barely slept. His arm aches where the skin split open, wrapped in gauze that already looks gray and tired. Around him, men sit on their bunks, staring at nothing. Nobody jokes. Nobody argues. The unit feels smaller, tighter, like the walls have moved closer overnight. When the doors open for count, officers move slower than usual. Their eyes scan faces, tattoos, hands. Everyone is being watched more closely now. After a night like that, nobody trusts anybody. Not the officers. Not the inmates. Not even themselves. Darnell does not come back. Whispers move through the unit before breakfast even arrives. Some say he was taken to the infirmary. Others say segregation. Someone swears they saw him in cuffs being dragged toward another building. At Rikers, information travels fast, but truth never keeps up. Breakfast is colder than usual. Marcus eats anyway. Hunger is stronger than fear. Across the table, a man with heavy ink across his scalp keeps glancing toward the door. His jaw tightens every time boots echo in the hallway. The officers announce a partial lockdown. Movement is restricted. Programs are canceled. Court trips are delayed. Groans ripple through the unit. Court delays mean more time here. More time inside Rikers is something no one wants. Marcus sits back on his bunk and watches dust float in the air. He thinks about home. About how long 7 months has felt like 7 years. About how every day here changes people, even the ones who swear they will not change. By midday, tension creeps back in. Lockdowns make tempers short. Men pace in small circles. Someone starts banging on a door, asking for a phone call. Another yells for medical again. The officers respond late. Too late. A new face arrives in the unit that afternoon. He is walked in by 2 officers and uncuffed near the desk. His name is Leon Porter. His arms, neck, and chest are covered in thick black tattoos, layered over old ones, like a history written in ink. He scans the room slowly, reading faces, reading danger. New inmates are always tested. Everyone knows it. Leon feels it too. He takes a bunk near the back, keeping his head down, but eyes open. Marcus notices how the unit shifts around him. Conversations lower. Bodies reposition. A few men exchange looks. Rikers has its own rules, and newcomers step into them whether they want to or not. That evening, the showers finally open. It should be calm. It never is. Steam fills the room, fogging the air. The sound of running water mixes with quiet voices. Marcus stands near the wall, letting the water hit his shoulders. He keeps his eyes down. He feels more than sees Leon step into the space nearby. A sudden shove breaks the fragile calm. Someone accuses Leon of cutting in line. Leon answers back, sharp and loud. Words snap like wires pulled too tight. Marcus feels the shift before it happens. The room leans toward violence. A fist swings. The shower becomes chaos. Wet feet slip. Bodies collide. Someone crashes into the wall. A man goes down hard, hitting the concrete with a sound that makes everyone flinch. Blood mixes with water, swirling toward the drain. Marcus backs away, heart pounding. He presses himself against the tiles, trying not to get pulled in. Leon is fighting now, movements fast and desperate. His tattoos flash as arms swing. He takes a hit to the side of the head, but stays standing. Officers rush in, shouting. The alarms sound again. Everyone freezes too late. The aftermath is fast and brutal. Men are ordered to the ground. Hands behind heads. Anyone slow gets shoved down. Leon is cuffed and dragged out, water still dripping from his clothes. His eyes meet Marcus's for half a second. There is no fear in them, only anger. The unit is locked down again. Hours pass, maybe more. Time bends during lockdown. Lights stay on. Meals are skipped. Nobody explains anything. Marcus lies on his bunk staring at the ceiling, listening to distant shouting from somewhere else in the jail. Rikers is never just one place. Violence echoes from unit to unit, building to building. Late that night, officers pull Marcus from his cell. They say his name. They tell him to step out. They cuff him without explanation. His heart starts racing. He thinks of segregation, of being moved, of being forgotten. They walk him down long hallways that smell like bleach and old sweat. He passes other inmates sitting against walls, heads down, wrists cuffed. Everyone looks the same here in moments like this. Reduced. They stop outside a small room. Inside, a table. 2 chairs. A camera mounted high in the corner. They uncuff one hand and tell him to sit. An officer asks questions. About the fight. About names. About gangs. Marcus answers carefully. He says he didn't see anything. He says he stayed out of it. He says what everyone says when survival matters more than truth. After a long silence, they uncuff him and walk him back. When he returns to the unit, something feels different. Eyes follow him. Whispers start again. Talking to officers, even when forced, carries weight. Suspicion grows fast here. Marcus lies back on his bunk, heart heavy. He knows what comes next. Not tonight. Not immediately. But soon. Rikers Island never forgets a face. It never forgets a moment of weakness. And somewhere else in the jail, men are already deciding what happens to him next. The next day begins with a transfer. Marcus knows something is wrong before his name is called. It is the way the officers avoid eye contact. The way the unit goes quiet when they stop in front of his cell. He steps out, cuffs click shut around his wrists, and no one explains why. At Rikers Island, explanations are rare. Movement itself is the message. They walk him through long corridors where the air feels colder and heavier. He passes holding cells packed with men, waiting for court, waiting for medical, waiting for answers. Some have fresh bruises. Some stare at the floor. Some stare straight back at him, eyes sharp, reading his face like a warning sign. Marcus is moved to another housing unit on the other side of the complex. This unit feels worse. Older. Louder. The walls are covered in scratches and marks left behind by men who have passed through and never looked back. The moment Marcus steps inside, he feels it. This place runs on tension, not routine. The inmates here already know his name. Someone mutters it under their breath as he walks past. Another laughs quietly. Marcus keeps his head straight, his pace even. His tattoos are visible now. He doesn't try to hide them. On Rikers, hiding makes you look weak. He takes the bunk he's assigned and sits down slowly. His instincts tell him not to relax. Transfers like this don't happen by accident. Someone, somewhere, made a decision. By the afternoon, the pressure becomes clear. A group of men claim the tables near the phones. Their bodies are marked with thick ink, faces, crowns, numbers layered over muscle and scar tissue. They speak softly, but everyone listens. When Marcus steps near the water fountain, one of them bumps his shoulder on purpose. No apology. Marcus turns just slightly. Not enough to challenge. Not enough to submit. The man smirks and walks away. That night, Leon's name comes back into the air. Marcus hears it while lying on his bunk, staring at the ceiling. Someone says Leon was badly hurt after the shower fight. Someone else says he was sent to segregation and came out worse. Another voice says Leon blamed Marcus for talking. Marcus's chest tightens. He knows how stories grow inside these walls. Truth doesn't matter. Belief does. The unit stays loud long after lights out. Shouting echoes from somewhere down the tier. An officer yells back. A door slams. Sleep never fully comes. The next morning, Marcus is cornered near the phones. It happens fast. Too fast to avoid. Two men step in close, blocking his path. One of them has a skull tattoo covering half his face. The other cracks his knuckles slowly, eyes locked on Marcus's. They accuse him of being an informant. Marcus denies it. Calmly, clearly. He explains he had no choice. He says what anyone would say. But words don't carry much weight here once suspicion takes root. A shove lands his chest. The room holds its breath. Marcus reacts without thinking. He pushes back, hard enough to create space. The first punch comes from the side. He barely sees it. Pain explodes near his jaw. He stumbles, catches himself, swings back. Bodies rush in. Shouts fill the air. The fight spreads across the unit like it has done 100 times before. Tables scrape. Phones crash to the floor. Marcus feels hands grabbing his shirt, pulling him backward. Someone's elbow hits his ribs. He hears his own breath coming fast and rough. An officer blows a whistle. Another hits the alarm. It doesn't stop the fight. It never does. Marcus falls to the ground as boots and fists move around him. He curls in, protecting his head. A kick lands on his back. Another catches his arm. His tattoos burn against the concrete floor. Then shields crash in. Officers force their way through, shouting commands, swinging batons at anything that doesn't move fast enough. The unit breaks apart under pressure. Men scatter. Some are tackled. Some surrender. Some keep fighting until they can't. Marcus is dragged to his feet, cuffed again. Blood runs from his mouth. His ribs scream with every breath. They line the inmates up against the wall. Across the room, Marcus sees Leon. Leon stands there in cuffs, face swollen, eye nearly shut. His tattoos look darker against his bruised skin. When their eyes meet, there is no confusion left. Only understanding. Whatever this has become, it is bigger than both of them now. They are separated quickly. Marcus is taken to medical. A nurse cleans his cuts without speaking much. This happens all day, every day. There is no shock left in the process. Only routine care for routine damage. Afterward, instead of returning him to the unit, they take him somewhere else. Segregation. The cell is smaller than his last one. Colder. The door shuts with a final sound that sinks deep into his chest. He sits on the narrow bunk, alone with his thoughts and the ringing in his ears. In segregation, there is no noise from other inmates. Only distant echoes. Only time. Marcus presses his back against the wall and exhales slowly. He knows this move was intentional. Isolation breaks people. It gives rumors time to grow. It gives anger time to harden. And somewhere beyond these walls, the unit he left behind is still awake. Still tense. Still ready. Because at Rikers Island, violence does not need an audience. It only needs opportunity. Marcus loses track of time in segregation. There is no window he can see. The light above his head stays on longer than it should, then dims without warning. Meals slide through the slot in the door. He eats because his body tells him to, not because he feels hungry. Silence presses down harder than noise ever did. His ribs ache every time he shifts. His jaw is swollen. He traces the raised lines of tattoos on his arms with his fingers, grounding himself. Names, symbols, memories from a life that feels far away now. In here, the past fades. Only the present matters. Voices drift through the vents sometimes. Yelling, cursing, laughter that sounds wrong. Segregation doesn't stop violence. It just hides it. On the third day, an officer stops outside his door longer than usual. Pack up, the officer says. Marcus's stomach tightens. Pack up could mean anything. Court. Another transfer. Back to a unit that already wants him hurt. He gathers his few things and waits as the cuffs click shut again. They walk him through corridors he hasn't seen before. Narrower. Dimmer. The smell is stronger here. Old sweat. Bleach. Something rotten underneath it all. This part of Rikers feels forgotten, like it's been left behind by time. When the door opens, Marcus steps into a different kind of pressure. This unit is quieter, but not calmer. Men here don't waste energy on noise. They sit, watch, and wait. Every face is marked with ink. Heavy tattoos crawl up necks, across scalps, down fingers. Stories written into skin. Marcus feels eyes on him immediately. He's assigned a bunk near the middle. No corner. No wall to lean against. Exposure. Another message. Hours pass without incident. That worries him more than immediate violence. Come here is a lie. During evening chow, a man sits across from Marcus without asking. He is older, thicker, his arms layered with faded tattoos and newer ones cut deep into the skin. He eats slowly, watching Marcus over his tray. You talk too much, the man says quietly. Marcus keeps his voice steady. He says he doesn't talk at all. The man smiles without warmth. That's what they all say. The table around them goes silent. Nearby inmates pretend not to listen. Everyone is listening. The man stands and walks away, leaving his tray untouched. That night, Marcus doesn't lie down right away. He stays sitting back against the wall, watching shadows move across the floor. He knows how this works. A test is coming. It always does. It comes during the late count. The officers are distracted, focused on numbers and clipboards. Marcus feels someone brush past him. A hand slips something cold and sharp against his thigh. Not deep, just enough to send a message. He gasps and spins, but the crowd has already shifted. Faces look away. No one reacts. Marcus presses his hand against the cut. Blood seeps through his fingers. Not bad. Not yet. The officers don't notice until count is finished. Medical comes late. Again, while he waits, sitting on his bunk, Marcus understands the rules of this place more clearly than ever. This unit has decided he is a problem, and problems here are handled quietly, piece by piece. The next day, the pressure increases. Someone knocks his shoulder in the hallway. Another spits near his feet. No direct challenge. Just reminders. Warnings. By evening, Marcus realizes he's being boxed in. The phones. The showers. The tables. Every space he tries to use becomes occupied the moment he approaches. He eats standing up. He showers last, watching the door the entire time. Then the power flickers. The lights dim, then surge back on. A low murmur runs through the unit. Power issues happen at Rikers. Everyone knows what comes next. The doors unlock by mistake. For a brief, dangerous moment, cell doors that should stay shut slide open. Marcus hears it before he sees it. Footsteps rushing. Voices rising. Someone shouts his name. He turns just as bodies move toward him. There are too many to count. Marcus runs. He cuts between bunks, heart hammering, breath burning his chest. Hands grab at his shirt. Fingertips scrape skin. He stumbles, catches himself, keeps moving. A punch clips his shoulder. Another slams into his back. He crashes into a wall near the showers. Pain explodes through his ribs. He swings blindly, trying to create space. He feels bone connect with bone. Someone grunts. Someone else laughs. The unit erupts. This isn't a fight. It's a release. Officers rush in, alarms screaming louder than before. Shields crash into bodies. Batons swing. Men scatter, slipping on the floor, dragging the injured with them. Marcus slides down the wall and hits the ground hard. For a moment, everything goes quiet inside his head. When he opens his eyes, he is on his back, staring up at the ceiling lights. Blood pools near his ear. An officer stands over him, shouting for medical again. As they lift him onto a stretcher, Marcus sees Leon being dragged past, hands cuffed, face split open, eyes still burning with anger. Their eyes meet one last time before they are pulled in opposite directions. Marcus knows this is no longer about rumors or respect. This is survival now, and Rikers Island has made its choice. Marcus wakes up strapped to a hospital bed inside the jail. The ceiling above him is cracked and stained. The light hums softly. His body feels heavy, distant, like it belongs to someone else. Every breath sends pain through his ribs. His head throbs. He tries to move his hands and feels the restraint pull tight. A nurse notices his eyes open and tells him to stay still. Her voice is calm, practiced. She has done this before, many times. She cleans dried blood from his face and checks the bandage on his side. He hears words like fractured rib and concussion, but they float past him. What matters more is what comes next. Medical never lasts long at Rikers. Through the thin curtain, Marcus hears shouting. Another inmate is brought in on a stretcher. Then another. The night's violence has spilled far beyond one unit. It always does. Hours later, he is unstrapped and told to stand. He is not going back to the unit. They move him through corridors under heavy guard. Officers walk closer than before. Hands stay near cuffs. No one jokes. No one relaxes. The energy feels different now, sharper, like the jail itself is bracing for something worse. Marcus is placed in a holding cell with several other men. All of them are injured. All of them are tattooed. None of them speak. One man has his arm in a sling. Another's eyes swollen shut. A third keeps tapping his foot over and over like he is counting down to something only he understands. Time drags. Then the door opens again. Leon is pushed inside. He looks worse than before. His face is split at the eyebrow, stitched roughly. His knuckles are raw. New bruises bloom across his neck, weaving through the dark ink of his tattoos. The room shifts the moment he enters. Every man feels it. Leon does not sit. He leans against the wall, eyes locked forward. When his gaze finally moves, it lands on Marcus. There is no anger now, no blame, just recognition. They are both still alive. For now, an officer steps in and reads out names. Charges, disciplinary actions, transfers, segregation extensions. The words hit like slow punches. Some men will disappear into isolation. Some will be moved again. Some will stay right where they are. Marcus's name is last. He is told he is being returned to general population. The room reacts instantly. Someone curses under their breath. Someone else laughs quietly. Leon's jaw tightens. Marcus feels it settle in his stomach like a stone. General population is not safety. It is exposure. They cuff him and walk him away before anyone can say more. As they pass through intake corridors, Marcus hears shouting from above. Another unit. Another fight. Officers running. Radios crackling. Rikers is spiraling again, folding violence into violence, night into night. When they reach the housing unit, Marcus already knows it is different. The air feels charged. Men crowd the railings. Eyes follow him as he steps inside. Word has traveled faster than he has. He takes a few steps forward and stops. Across the unit, near the phones, a group of inmates stand together. Their tattoos are bold, unified, symbols matching across arms and necks. They do not hide. They do not whisper. One of them slowly draws a finger across his throat while looking straight at Marcus. The door slams shut behind him. The noise in the unit rises all at once. Shouting, laughter, someone banging on steel. Officers yell for calm, but no one listens. Not anymore. Marcus stands still, heart pounding, understanding finally clear. This place is not reacting to violence. It is feeding on it. And tonight, Rikers Island is wide awake.